So our grant was for wrapping a vehicle. We were already planning on buying a van to help with collections and with distribution of compostable products. And one of the things, even in our 5 years, we've never done a great job at getting our, what's it called? I guess wrapping vehicles and getting it, visible to the community. And especially when we're driving around, going through neighborhoods, going slowly through neighborhoods, it's an opportunity to really get in front of folks. So we wanted to get this next vehicle, especially because it was going to be a very clean and large side of the van, as you could see. It was a huge opportunity. So we were excited to get the grant. We used it to, display the process, right? Like we're taking in food scraps at the front there, and it's going through the process of composting, and out comes a beautiful garden that is producing food for people in continuing the cycle. So yeah, we're really excited about that. The results so far, so all great. We've gotten a lot of great comments. The first 3 weeks, I've got so many text messages just from my friends and supporters of NewTerra that they saw the van around town. So like visibility wise, it made a splash in Chattanooga. The one thing though that we kind of changed was we experimented with collections, and we've still used it for collections, but not on a routine route. So it does special events. But the step up actually kind of proved to be a little bit of a challenge for some of our team, just the height of it, and everybody really prefers the pickup trucks. So we've kind of stuck with that on our more routine routes. It does do a delivery. It does deliveries every week, so it goes to some of our biggest users of BPI certified products, which is one is a local tourist attraction called Ruby Falls, and they take in people from all over the Southeast. And in their 2 to 3 hour experience with Ruby Falls, they're probably going to handle 4 to 5 products. I mean, everything that they hand people is compostable, and that we collect on the back end. So they're a really exciting spot for us. Another one is Odd Story Brewery, which everything is compostable there. So we collect all their food scraps and all their compostable products. And it's one of the places in town where locals go and they get a firsthand experience with compostable products, because everything they're touching there is going to go back into our compost piles. So, but really good results. We've loved the wrap. We learned a few things too, about the process in design, and kind of getting what we wanted there. So it definitely took longer than expected in many ways. We went right up to the deadline. I think we actually maybe pushing the deadline a little bit to get everything done. So I'd say, lesson learned there was start earlier in the design process, because that takes time. So yeah, I hope, is that a good intro?
Yeah, for sure. So who designed, did you work with a designer, or was it someone on your team that you already have that designed it?
So Michael Ryan is our other co-founder and other owner of NewTerra. He's got some design capabilities, but he basically just prepped a real designer to help finish it. And we had actually been working on this concept for a long time with some other products. So we had a base of what we wanted and went from there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a really good design. It definitely pops out.
Yes.
Um,
So it's a little detailed, I'd say, for like road stuff, but we also love bringing it to events. So like we did an event, and we jumped a curb and parked it right where everybody walks in. So everybody had to walk by this like wall billboard and see it. So it does great for when people have more time, and I love the story it tells because it kind of shows like you can it's a great prompt too to stand there and point at the food and then point at the garden, and it brings people on that journey with you.
Yeah. So it's sparking new conversations. I know you said friends, people that you know have texted saying that they've seen your van around town, but it also like people you've never talked to before, it's making them want to learn more.
Yes, so we also at the same time are rolling out a trial with the city of Chattanooga, and we use this for some of the collections, but we also the distribution of buckets, and it was great. People walking their dogs kind of look at it, and then like you see the head go sideways, and it's an easy in to be like, "Hey, what do you know about composting?" Or "Have you ever thought about composting before?" So yeah, it definitely sparks more conversation on route than a Chevy Silverado that's all white and looks like, like what are these guys doing in my neighborhood? This is a much more friendly vehicle to approach.
Yeah. That's awesome. Is there anything you would have changed about the whole project or the overall look of it? Like how did you balance the imagery with the messaging? Is there anything you'd want more of or less of?
Um, there is one like little issue on the back that I noticed, but I won't point it out because then you'll always see it. No, I think right now I really love it. I would maybe go with something that's more for the fast pace, but the way we're using this now at events, I think it's great. And I think that it hits you from every angle um, to kind of get your attention. So
Awesome.
nothing yet, I guess. No, no, no.
No, it's a good
The
thing.
one thing too is I'd say it's helped us in, a thank you to BPI is the design, the we did the design was part of this, but we can definitely adapt this to the next vehicle. So even if we go to a pickup truck for the next wrap, there's a lot of elements in this design that are going to help us get there. So like this is going to have additional benefits in terms of, cost savings for us down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. You can apply it to other vehicles later on.
Yeah,
Do you think this helps normalize compost in your community? What I mean by that is we often see like recycling trucks, every other week or so, but you don't really see compost trucks that often, or at least they're not super noticeable if they are driving down the road. How do you think this helps normalize compost in a community?
I think if you have this view that like we're looking at right now of the the back of it, you can't sit there and not think about composting a little bit. And I think it definitely does get your attention to maybe think about it a little more. I don't think any truck could probably get you from like zero understanding to I'm ready to start composting, but I think it could start the journey and get your attention to if you're a little bit curious to think more about it.
Yeah.
But I think this is part of like a whole element every composter is fighting right now, right? Like you have to be on social media, you have to have a good website that explains everything. You have to be present at events, you have to be present in the community with a real footprint, such as drop-offs or buckets. It's a multifaceted marketing approach that's required to get the word out there. And especially when you're like by yourself kind of on that story, having a little help from BPI is really helpful and the USCC because we're promoting not only a company, but we're also promoting a lifestyle change for some people or a business operations change or just educating you on what composting is 100%. So So there's a lot to get done, especially when you compare it to like other businesses. Like Coca-Cola spends so much money on marketing, and we already know what soda is, right? They don't have to be like, hey, here's what soda is.
Yeah.
For us, we have to say, here's what composting is, and here's why it's important.
Mhm.
So we've got a long journey of explanation every time we talk to someone.
Right. Yeah. Composting is a little bit more complicated than soda.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have to have those multiple touch points. Like someone can see the van, right, and think about it in that moment, but how do you keep them wanting to learn more and keep them engaging?
Yep.
Cool. My final question is what's next? So this micro grant happened. You have an awesome wrapped van. Do you plan on adding anything to other vehicles or other outreach goals in the near
Yeah,
future?
we're working on another, not a full wrap for a 8 yard compactor truck that we use on commercial services. We're working on something that's going to match some of this tone, or we might make it a little more simple. Outreach, we're going into the spring, so I'm excited about all the events that we're going to do. Like we've got a marathon that we've been doing for several years. We This weekend we have the Lookout Wild Film Festival, which we've done for 4 years now. Um, we've got a whole bunch of events coming up, and I'm excited to have this part out front of everything I can, so that more people have to walk by it and see it and say, what is this? What is NewTerra? What is composting? What are all these everything about it? What is BPI? Hopefully they just ask a question. So
Awesome. So many opportunities for
yeah,
learning.
yep. And then also with as we're freezing our butts off, I'm excited about spring compost season. This is when a lot of people get compost back in their hands. And for a lot of people, it's kind of the reward of doing it. So they're going to be in the garden using compost, thinking about why they put food in a bucket for a year and what it turned into. So it's the full circle.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's when you see the loop actually
Yeah.
close.
Yep. So yeah, no, I'm excited about a lot of stuff. So yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Norm, for taking some time out of your day to talk about this project.
no, I'm the least I can do. We appreciate you guys supporting the small composters like us and helping us, fight that education battle. And
Yeah.
just it is very appreciated.
Awesome. Well, that's one of the main reasons why we're here.